We
All
love
right,
hip
so I
hop.
wanted to do a quick reaction here to an interview that I did about a month ago, maybe about 2 months ago now. And big salute to K Productions who conducted the interview, a relatively new platform on the scene here. They've been doing some great interviews. They have one with Team Real Estate 24/7, as well as an interview with Mula First. And I had the honor to do an interview with the gentleman from K Productions. So let's check out the interview right here. Before we start that, y'all know the drill. Make sure to hit that like button, share the video, and let's pull up their channel over here quickly. Let's pull up the channel. Make sure to go and subscribe to K Productions. I will do that myself. I'm surprised I'm not subscribed already. But like I said, they got a bunch of interviews on the channel right now. The final boss interview. Like I said, they're just starting up. So, he's getting the production together and everything. But let's go over the interview that I did with them about a month ago.
He's the architect of the most smoked up brand in Canada, yet he stands as a pillar of sobriety and mental clarity. A Montreal native who redefined the Toronto landscape. He has transitioned from artist to executive to undisputed voice of the city.
Big salute to Kino.
He's the man who built bridges where others see walls. We have here Ricky Friday Dred.
Thank you. Yo, so talk to me, man. I'm honored to be here, man. I know this is a little bit different because I'm in my own studio, but I'm just really honored to get this conversation going on, man.
Nice.
And big salute to We Love Hip Hop Studios. That's my my new studio where we record the podcast.
Yeah, definitely. I usually have my own setup going, and I'm usually behind the camera asking you questions, but I'll get used to this. It's okay.
We in the We Love Hip Hop Studios today, man.
And thank you for having me here. I appreciate that.
Thank you, brother.
Nice. So my first question for you is, all right, Ricky, you've been sober since 2010, yet you built the most smoked up brand in the country. How do you maintain the mental clarity as a leader when you're constantly surrounded by the very environment you had to escape?
Well, I thought that was a great question, especially with somebody who's been dealing with sobriety or who's been sober for since 2011, 2010, right? 2011, technically. And here we are in 2026. However, I got my little spliff over here. I ain't gonna lie. I love to smoke some weed. So some people don't look at it as sobriety necessarily because they might put it in the category of narcotics, but I don't look at it in the same way. But I'll get to explaining it in the interview over here. The one thing when I first went away, because that's what really turned my mind around as far as like getting sober, right? Is I went to jail for about a year and change. And during the first month, I realized this is not good. Like alcohol put me in this situation. But when I first came home, because alcohol, like the will to drink had already left my body. When I went to bars or like when I snuck to go to bars, because I was actually like still hosting places and stuff like that, unbeknownst to my parole officer, right? I didn't have the will. I would see people drinking. I'd see just quick, fast, even just to give some explanation to that right there. There was a space of time, big salute to DJ Law. I was going around with him, hosting parties from place to place, even weekly events. And part of the stipulations that I had, as far as my parole stipulations, because the incident that I had was alcohol related, I was found in my apartment, laid out, with a fire happening in the apartment, and I was drunk, right? So they were saying, one of the things that they tried to say in the court, the Crown tried to say, is alcohol also led to me making bad decisions about making money and things like that, like getting into the streets and different things. So I was basically banned from any places that sold alcoholic beverages. I couldn't go to bars. So when I was hosting these parties, I was violating my parole crazy. Good thing social media wasn't as popping as it is now. People getting drunk. To be honest, sometimes when people get too like sloshed, I get annoyed and stuff like that. And I started thinking to myself, was that me? You know what I mean? Like those times where I used to be in the bar and I thought I was the life of the party. Like, was I acting like an idiot all those whole times? So like, I never really got the will. Not to say that like there hasn't been times
or I've gone through some really hard times, and then I'm like, you know what, I could just say fuck it and just start drinking all over again. But I realized a long time ago, also through help from the 12-step program, like, you know, different AA meetings that I used to go to, if I take one drink, it's going to start the whole cycle all over again.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that as well.
And to answer,
just even to quickly touch on the whole AA meetings, I used to go to a lot of meetings. I don't go to them anymore. I haven't been to one in years, but I used to go to a lot of meetings. Sometimes 7 o'clock in the morning meetings. I'd go to ones that were like 9 o'clock on Sundays. It was like almost like a religious experience to me to like go to these meetings and hear people talk about their trials and tribulations and their stories of overcoming alcoholism. And I got to hear some gripping, crazy stories. Like I'm talking about people revealing that they were sitting in the bathtub with shotguns ready to like take their own lives, and just wild stories that I used to hear in those meetings. So they were definitely beneficial.
Because you also mentioned the Most Smoked Out podcast, even when I was heavily sedated through drinking and stuff like that, I never looked at weed as something as like a substance where I always split things into chemicals and non-chemicals. So I looked at it as a natural substance. It's more of how you're able to handle weed. For me personally, you know what I'm saying? So when I first came home and I started, you know, when I was able to smoke again, one of the things I started thinking to myself, is it going to give me the urge to want to drink alcohol? That did cross my mind. And when I had my first spliff and I was, you know, started to get high again or whatever, like I never thought about drinking and smoking at the same time. So that's just me though. That doesn't work for everybody. Somebody might start smoking weed while they're trying to deal with sobriety from alcohol and say, you know what? It'd be good to have some Hennessy with this blunt right now. So I can't advise.
That's a fact. I advise you don't do as I do. And I'm not saying just do as I say, but everybody's experience is different and everybody's ways of dealing with substances is different, you know? So yeah, don't just take my path because I was able to overcome alcohol or alcoholism and still be able to be, you know, Ricky Dred 100 blunts to the head.
Yeah, I agree. I have a friend that he drinks a lot. I mean, heavily. I mean, back in the days, 40 OEs. Like carries 5, 6 in his bag every day. And I try to talk to him. I try to talk to him as well. But yeah, you know, he doesn't listen. I try to help him, but yeah, he's still going through his thing.
When it comes to any type of substance abuse, whether it's alcohol or anything like that, and I've dealt with even like addiction in my family, right?
Yeah.
They gotta want to help themselves. Right? I got a family member that people have been trying to help for years. Like all my other family members, like trying to get him off of like freaking heroin and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, there's only so much love that you can give. Sometimes the love has to be tough love where not turn your back on them, but not be so quick to run to help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let them go through a little struggle.
Yeah,
you know,
because one of the things I had to realize to stop drinking is I had to hit rock bottom. And rock bottom for me was going to jail and realizing like, yo, I'm not going to come out in like a week. I might be here for an extended period of time. You know what I mean?
Let me just touch on that for a quick minute, because salute to my cuz. All right, I'm not going to ball out his name because that's his own private experience that he's dealing with, and he's not a public figure. But yeah, he was on heroin for a long space of time. When we were kids, let's say around 17, 18, he was already dabbling with different drugs and stuff. And when I left and went to when I came over here to Toronto, and I would check back in, you know, he was already on road, just on the streets all the time looking for drugs, like just real like addict shit, you know, fiend shit. And I couldn't believe that this is like a family member of mine. But even to this day, he's still dealing with it. He's in, you know, in different rehab homes or homes that kind of help people who are dealing with substance abuse issues. Not rehab homes necessarily, but he's gone to rehab multiple times. He's been to jail multiple times. So I say that to say his rock bottom is different than mine. As soon as I touched that jail cell and they put that orange pumpkin suit on me, I felt like, yo, this is not the life for me. But that's not necessarily true for everybody. And we're also talking about way different substances. Heroin can take a grip over somebody crazy in comparison to alcohol. Not to say that people don't deal with alcoholism to a super high degree, but we do have to keep in mind that there's something that you can go buy at the liquor store in comparison to having to see somebody on the corner or in some kind of alleyway.
I'm saying, so like everything that I had on the outside, I'm losing. So in my mind, that's my rock bottom. That's where I was like, okay, that decision has to be made. Other people got to hit their rock bottom sometimes before they get, make that turn.
Facts.
Hopefully that rock bottom isn't them dying.
Yeah, hopefully. That's true. You moved from Montreal to Buzzard I said I pronounced it right. Buzzard.
Buzzard. Oh, so Buzzard. Just give you a little bit of history. Buzzard is a suburb in Montreal. It's like living in Saga.
Yeah.
It's more like living in Scarborough.
Yeah. So, sorry, my question was, you moved from Montreal.
Let me show y'all what Buzzard looks like quick, fast. Just for shits and gigs. I'll show y'all what, not LaSalle, but Buzzard looks like. Bazoo to LaSalle the same way. It's not a bad looking area, neighborhood, you know what I mean? This is some of the more newly developed areas. All right, a lot of houses. You don't see a lot of buildings over there, and if they are buildings, they're like low-rise buildings. All right, good thing that they're not showing my actual street because I'm not trying to dox myself. But Montreal's a beautiful city, you know what I'm saying? There's Montreal in the background with the mountain and everything like that, but like it's the suburbs. So I wasn't in the hood, thugging and bugging, walking by gangbangers every day. I lived a good childhood. But let's get back to the video over here. Big salute to KP Productions.
Montreal Buzzard to Parkdale in 97. How does that outsider looking in perspective help you to see the holes in Toronto scene that people born here are too blind to see?
That's a good question. One thing I realized when I first got here is a lot of people, and this is with all due respect to all my people that are from here, born and raised, but this is a gold mine, bro. This city has ridiculous amounts of opportunities for Black people. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but in comparison to other Canadian cities, this is the shit. So when I got here, I was like, wait a minute. One, there's Black people working in all like these different types of establishments. Like, I've told the story many times online, but like, I'll say it again. Like the first time I hooked up my Bell line, a Jamaican lady was on the line assisting me. And I was thinking to myself, damn, this lady got this job working at Bell. That's how I felt like as somebody from Montreal, because Black people, there's a lot of racism there. It was not, there's the language separation and stuff like that. So it was like, okay, a Black person with a Jamaican accent isn't just gonna get a job at Bell in Montreal.
And this is in 97, right? So I'm talking about like the 80s and 90s in Montreal. Obviously things have changed over time, but not so much. Like, one, if you don't speak French, good luck even getting a regular 9-to-5 over there. It doesn't mean that it can't happen, but it's going to be extremely harder. And with that being said, a lot of the Haitian community, because they speak Creole as their first language, which is derived from French, and multiple languages. French is very easy for them to speak. It's pretty much Creole is pretty much French, right? So when those Haitian guys go over there, and women, it's easier for them to get jobs because they speak French way more fluently. And it still doesn't stop the racism, because if there's a white woman who can speak the French, they're going to give that woman the job rather than the Haitian woman. It's just reality.
It happened in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? As somebody who was on the streets, I'm like, there's way more people to sell to. So I'm like, wait a minute, Why isn't anybody taking opportunity of all of these customers? Not just like the crackheads. I'm talking about like well-to-do people that can spend some real money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I felt like people weren't taking advantage of this huge mega city that we have over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From the outside.
Nice. I always thought, I haven't really been to Montreal, but I always thought it would
come a little bit closer to the train.
I always thought it would be a nice place, cheaper than Toronto.
It is. It is definitely cheaper than Toronto, but
let's forward a bit past the Montreal stuff and get to the next question.
Podcast wars in the city.
97.
And so Kendrick fallout and the recent podcast wars in the city. Do you think we're closer to a unified Toronto?
Now, first, before I answer that question, I want to give the proper credit to DJ Natural. Salute to DJ Natural Wave. He's the one who came up with that term, the self-eating snake. Right?
Salute to DJ Natural.
But it's facts, though. A lot of the times when a lot of artists are coming up, especially, I'm saying, not a lot, but the ones who are from the hood scene, right? They get to a certain level and then their own take them out. Whether it's a beef that they have with a rival artist and it gets, something that goes from online ends up on the streets, or somebody from their own hood takes them out, or, even self-eating to the point where like they fuck up their own shit, right? I can understand still having to work in the street or do your shit in the street while you're trying to make money for this rap stuff. But a lot of these guys go overboard. They're out there on drills, doing it themselves, taking videos with all kind of guns and stuff like that. And then they get arrested, can't go across the border.
Yeah.
Right. Or they're just hemmed up in legal issues throughout their whole career. So they're never able to get a proper trajectory going on. So they're literally screwing up their own opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, and it's weird because this is just on the heels of the passing of Lil OT. There's been footage from his funeral that's been posted. But yeah, there was a post that was up earlier on one of the blog pages that it was like a carousel post with a bunch of artists that passed away over the last few years. But I guess the post was deleted. I don't know, maybe they felt that it was a little bit too sensitive around these times. But RIP to Lil OT and all of the fallen rappers. But like I was saying, or like I'm saying in this interview over here, a lot of these guys, they end up not making it to where they need to go because of the different politics that they're dealing with in the street.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a self-eating snake in two ways. Like the people around you can stop you from getting to your goal, and your own self is stopping you from getting to your goal. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely agree with that one. You recently interviewed Hunter Hoodlum.
Salute.
Yeah, and even the Toronto Police Constable, Dennis Dunkley. Some people say you're too close to the street. Others say you're too friendly with the law. How do you define the bridge in 2026?
That's a great question, man. I've learned that this is
I don't remember how I answered this question, so we're relearning in real time, gang.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Right. So in the end of the day, I had to separate myself as somebody who came from the streets. I had to separate the streets from entertainment. So I'm loyal to my audience at this point. I'm not loyal to the streets. I'm sorry. Newsflash. This might be the first time I'm saying this. I'm not loyal to the streets because I'm not out there taking penitentiary chances anymore. I don't got a whole bunch of friends that are in the streets. Most of my real homies are like 9-to-5 workers or business owners. The ones too that are in the streets, they're like older guys. So they're not like out here freaking spitting the block. So I don't have any loyalty to the street. You know what I'm saying? But
I would actually look crazy if I was out here in these streets, like beefing with people. I know that there's people, I obviously see people on the news sometimes that it'll be like, man in his 40s was shot at this plaza or something like that. But when I see stuff like that, I'm like, bro, you have not evolved where like you can stay away from gunfire. Don't get it twisted. For the amount of shit that I talk, the amount of news stories that I cover, a lot of sensitive news stories. I know not everybody is looking at me and ready to welcome me with open arms. But as far as like watching my head back for getting shot on a regular basis, I don't live that kind of life, fam. So, you know, if people call me a rat for reporting on a news story, then I guess it is what it is.
Audience that's, you know, helping me stay paid and a roof over my head and different things like that. I have a responsibility to them. So if they want to see a Toronto policeman on the show, I'm gonna bring one on. Right?
Facts.
They want to see a guy like Honcho Hoodlum that's always spitting the real. I'm gonna bring him on too. You know what I'm saying? But once upon a time, I would only do a Honcho Hoodlum and be like, oh no, I could never interview a cop. I could never interview, let's say, a Mayhem Moriarty that, you know, testified in court. Like now I'm like, I can't wait to get an interview with Mayhem. You know what I'm saying?
I got to get Mayhem to pull up for real.
Where even during the space of doing this podcast, my mind had to, like, I had to unlearn stuff. So maybe the first 3 years, 4 years, I'm going on 9 years now, right? The first 4 years, I probably would have said no to the cop, and I would have said hell no to Mayhem. Now going.
When we did a piece a few years back, when we were asking, and it's probably over here, I'm already on YouTube. We did a piece a few years back where I was asking, should we interview Mayhem Moriarty? And that piece got a lot of views at the time, right? We were just like pondering it between me and my co-host, or my co-host and I. I did a documentary on it. I don't even remember that shit. I do a lot of content. Where is that piece? Mayhem Moriarty interview. Can media interview informants? We love hip hop. So this is a while back.
Let's can do it.
Oh my God.
With the Mayute over here.
Friday.
Yeah.
Skinny Rick.
Only on the right side, yeah, that's the blood side.
That was getting to that level. Now, all that being said, shouldn't we interview him just off of the music standpoint of it?
Yeah.
Like, he still has a story music-wise that not a lot of people know about, and they kind of should hear, fam.
Yeah.
People are gonna want to hear about the snitching part too, though.
Yeah, we'll ask him about the snitching part too, but it's like, I don't really want to give.
And
like,
don't get me wrong, it's not like there's some interview booked or anything. So relax, everybody.
There's no interview book. There's nothing like that. But
All right. So right after this piece, and we spoke about it for about 10 minutes. So it's a 10-minute piece. All right. People got upset. I received phone calls. How could you bring up this guy? And I'm not going to mention who I got phone calls from, but I got multiple calls, DMs, all types of stuff. Oh, bro, don't do that. You know, I thought you were a real nigga, all types of shit. And it's like, just for the thought of interviewing Mayhem Moriarty, not having him sit there with us in front of us doing the actual interview, just for us having the discussion about it, these sensitive ass Toronto niggas just got out of control. Now I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do it. As soon as I get around to it, y'all gonna see it.
Where even during the space of doing this podcast, my mind had to, like, I had to unlearn stuff. So maybe the first 3 years, 4 years, I'm going on 9 years now, right? The first 4 years, I would have said no to the cop, and I would have said hell no to Mayhem. Now going into year 9, I'm like, I already interviewed the cop, and I can't wait to interview Mayhem.
Right now is actually worthy of.
You know, it might be just fucked up thinking, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that we've been passed down from our parents and all that too, and from people around us. Like, we gotta unlearn shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Time to move on.
Gotta unlearn some shit.
You said your mother taught you to be the one who gives the alley-oop. Who in the 416 right now is actually worthy of that pass, and who's just looking for a handout?
I got to stop right there. My mom never told me about giving the alley-oop. I don't know where he got that information. My mom has taught me a lot of valuable lessons, but she was never like, oh, be that person to be the assist guy. And like, no, I think she taught me more like, yo, be the leader, be the executor. Because I watched her, and not the executor in them kind of ways. All right, I know we're dealing with the Toronto drill scene, but I mean like be the one to execute the plan. Because I've watched, and not for her telling me this, just me watching her by example. R.I.P. to my mother. She executed multiple plans to make sure to keep a roof over our head, food on the table, and she did it with looking like she was doing it effortlessly, even though she was putting stupid amounts of effort into it. So salute to her. But she never taught me she never gave me no lesson about be the alley-oop guy. Sorry. I didn't correct him in real time, but I was letting him cook.
Are you talking about in the content creation space or like the artist space?
Both, actually.
My whole thing is I don't think I'm special.
Talk about it.
And I'll answer the content creation space first. I don't think that I'm special. So if I'm able to produce, upload, make thumbnails, be on my social media doing the posting and all that, and do that on a consistent basis, if I can see somebody else who has that same level of energy or work ethic, I'm fucking with them. You feel me? Because I don't look at myself as doing above and beyond. I look at people in America and I'm like, damn, I'm trying to catch up to the amount of work that you're doing. You feel me? Like a Joe Button. Right? So if I see somebody who's doing at least the same amount of work that I am, I'm trying to get next to them and see if I can work with them. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that also transitions to artists and stuff like that. Like when it comes to artists, you have to be able to create a buzz. Nobody's going to create it for you. Nobody's going to just, put you on. Putting you on is a thing of the past.
I hate that term. Yo, put me on, yo. Put you on to what? Put you on to my show? And then all of a sudden that means that you're going to be a famous rapper after that? Like you got to be slow, short bus to think that that's a perfect plan. Oh, get on We Love Hip Hop, and now all of a sudden I'm famous. So without what? Without you putting in any other work, you just only have to have a couple of thousand views on your music video. Oh, you've accumulated about maybe 1,500 followers, and then all of a sudden, boom, your life's going to change getting up on our network. No, you lazy. And I don't respect that. I'm sorry. Do more work.
You know what I'm saying? Record labels don't put people on. They literally wait to see if you're able to build some traction.
Learn how to time manage your life so that you can dedicate to the thing that you're passionate about. If not, then don't talk to me.
On your own, and then they give you a deal. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like that. What's your work ethic like? You might not even have the best music, but you can get better if you're ready, if you're willing to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I believe in that 100%.
Yeah.
You gotta put the effort and the time.
Yeah.
Like I said before, a lot of people, like they start stuff, but when they don't see like an outcome right away, they give up. You know what I mean?
Yes. That's a fact.
Yeah,
Yes,
I even mentioned on one of an interview that I had, like I just started this podcast. I'm starting everything from scratch. I don't have a lot of followers. You know what I mean? I post videos. I do a lot of edit. You know how long it takes to edit a video and stuff, the time and effort you put into it. So when you don't see the views right away, and you get discouraged, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm done with this. But yeah, if you give up, you'll never make it anywhere in life.
Yeah, and then it's all about also to add on to that evolution, right?
Before I do my adding on to that, let me actually give you guys a jewel that for any content creators out there who are trying to be consistent with the way that you're making your content, and so that you don't just get discouraged seeing that you're not getting high amounts of views in the beginning. Find a way to make it as cost effective as possible. If your first episodes you're filming in the high-end studio, spending like $500 to $1,000 per episode to get it filmed and edited, and then you're like, all right, now that I got that done, Birdman hand rub, let's go, let's get this 1 million views. When you don't get that 1 million views, you're gonna feel like you wasted mad bread. Okay, so, and then you're not gonna feel like doing that over and over again for 100 episodes until you actually start seeing some bread or one sponsor, right? So in order to make sure that you don't discourage yourself and that you can keep this ship rolling and keep the content coming, pause. Make sure that you can keep it where maybe you can get a studio that somebody can let you use, or a space that you can turn into a studio. Use your own home until that you're able to start renting out somewhere else. But make sure that the cameras that you're using are good enough that it's up to standard, but you don't have to have the most expensive ones. Start off with, maybe not one of these microphones, but a regular on stage microphone that you can get for less than $100. Really try to make sure that every week you're not spending hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars to produce content, and then that'll encourage you to make more content. And by that time, next thing you know, one of those quote unquote almost free pieces of content that you made will make you thousands of dollars that you could reinvest into your company. Okay, but you got to keep it low as far as the cost in the beginning, because you're not going to get 1,000 or 100,000 views off the bat. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna you might get 30 views, 10 views. You never know, and you might have the most high-end shit. So that YouTube algorithm is not just going to reward you because you got 4K Blackmagic cameras or 6K Blackmagic cameras. They don't care. The algorithm don't care about that shit. Do you have an audience, and are they watching your content for at least a substantial amount of time for it to get pushed in the algorithm? So it could look like trash, and people will still watch it. And as long as they're watching, then keep it pumping.
You might not see what you want in the beginning, but if you don't stop and then you continue to evolve the product, okay, I see that these guys have some really cool cameras, or the way their audio sounds pretty crisp. How can I get to that level? I might not be able to afford it now, but how could I get close so that every time my audience sees what we're doing, it looks better and better? The audience sees you putting the effort, they'll start riding with you yo, some days it might look a little wonky, but they're like, we don't care, because we're riding with you because we want to see the growth now. Because we can see you putting the effort in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Trust me. So there's a lot of that too.
Yes. If We Love Hip Hop disappears tomorrow, what's the one truth about the Canadian scene that will go undocumented?
Undocumented.
That's a great question.
The one truth that will go undocumented, there is none, man. Because I feel so far, I've been able to get a lot of interviews from old school people to young and up and coming artists, to giving them their first interviews, where I have a relationship with Maestro Fresh West.
Facts.
I never thought that I would have that living in Montreal. You know what I'm saying? The hip hop godfather,
The GOAT.
So I feel like I've been able to do everything that I wanted to do from this network. I've been able to speak to serial killers and all types of different people, from all kind of walks of life. If We Love Hip Hop was to end tomorrow, the only thing I feel like I'd be missing would be certain interviews, Mishi Me. I haven't interviewed Mishi Me yet. I haven't interviewed Master T yet.
Or Drake.
I mean, these are people who are on my bucket list of interviews of who I want to talk to, because in the end of the day, the podcast or the network is like a time capsule to me. You know what I'm saying? So if you really go through the catalog, you'll be able to see the full spectrum of the Canadian hip hop scene.
And let me add on to my answer over there. Even what I was saying about Drake, I've met him before even the thought of having a podcast. This is back in 2007, 2006 times I've met this guy, right? And watched him do the So Far Gone album over at the Remix Project back in 2008, 2009 times. Seen him get his deal with Young Money and evolve to become the biggest artist in the world. I'm going to be realistic. If I wasn't doing this podcast now, I wouldn't have any type of relationship with that man. There would be no talks behind this, not phone calls, because we don't have phone calls, but there would be no DM behind the scenes. There'd be no, I was watching your show and such happened, because there would be no show. Okay. So that is also a blessing. Like I have a connection from back in the days to now to the biggest artists in the world. So salute to the We Love Hip Hop Network for facilitating a lot of things for me in life.
I'm saying you'll be able to see an interview with Citizen Kane, or then maybe watch an interview with Hood Baby Peppa. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like you get to see the full spectrum from young to old, legends to up and coming people. You know, news clips or different things that document things that have happened in the scene, people who've passed away, and just different things that are all there in the catalog. So when people are able to look back, to be like, oh, I'm able to understand the Canadian music scene through watching this channel. That's I feel like I've achieved the goal, but that's my continuous mission all the time.
Nice. And you're doing your thing for
Thank
sure. You're going from an artist to an executive, to the voice of the city.
Sorry, my cat is going crazy. Brother, Randy, what's the deal?
Which of these versions of Kofi was the most honest, and which one was the hardest to leave behind?
This guy Kino is prepared with some banger questions, bro. I need to start taking some advice from him. I might have been like just going through the motions over the years for the amount of interviews that I've done, because these are some hard hitting, like intriguing questions.
None of them are hard to leave behind. As far as like the artistry stuff, I thought it would be hard to leave behind when I was fully entrenched in being an artist. I thought I was going to be the biggest rapper, or if not, I would just rap forever just for the love. But once I started getting into this podcast game, like I love podcasting. You know what I'm saying? And creating content. The rapping part, like giving up rapping, which I did back in 2017 or like early 2018, let's say, which is roughly like I started the podcast in 2017.
Let me show y'all something. While we're having a intimate moment over here, pause. Let me show y'all something. A big salute to Randy. Big Randy in the building. Let's find my YouTube music. Last thing I was looking for, or last thing I was listening to was J. Cole on there. And let's go and find my catalog. I don't have a lot of my catalog up because my TuneCore is not up anymore. But this is the last album that I dropped. Okay. Mad little amount of plays on it. Nothing crazy, okay? Nothing crazy. So don't diss. Only got 14 subscribers on my YouTube music thing. I never even paid attention to this shit. 2016. The Nocturnal album. That was the last thing that I had put out as far as a full-length album. And then I put out one more EP called Shift back in 2017. And that was like pretty much it. I was done with the rapping. But I was proud of the product that I put out. You know what I'm saying? This is a 17-track album. And well, maybe like 15 tracks if you include the 2 interludes that's on there. But now in hindsight, some people hit me up and they're like, Friday, you weren't so bad on the rapping. And you know what? You right. But don't expect no new bars from me anytime soon.
So when I stopped rapping, I didn't feel like, damn, I quit or I gave up. I'm just like, no, I transitioned into making content, doing podcasts. The executive part, I don't miss that either because I'm still an executive. I'm an executive for content now. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I'd rather be an executive for content than doing an executive for music. The music game is not as lucrative as it used to be. And you got to chase artists around. You got to deal with their personalities, different things like that. And if that's what it takes to make some money from the music game, I'd rather do it from content.
Content is the thing nowadays.
Content's king.
Streaming.
COE, content over everything.
Hey. All right, that's cool. All right, in this segment, we like to call rapid fire. I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
Let's
and
go,
just say
rapid
the
fire.
first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
All right. Dundas Street or St. Catharines?
St. Catharines.
Why?
St. Catharines just has that feel where it just feels a little bit more close. It's a smaller street, obviously. Dundas Street is part of like longest, it's not the longest street in the world, youngest, but Dundas got a lot of crackheads, bro.
Facts. That's what I wanted to say from the jump. St. Catherine Street got a share of like bummy shit going on too, but nothing close to Yonge and Dundas area or Dundas and Sherburne or Dundas and Parliament. No, Dundas is just a freaking abomination, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where like when you're on St. Catherine Street, bro, it's a vibe, man. And back in the days, they used to have a lot of strip clubs and stuff like that. Like Montreal is a vibe. I don't live there anymore, but it's a vibe. So I would take St. Catherine Street over Dundas Street any day. Yeah.
All right, nice. All right, gatekeeper or door opener?
I would call myself a door opener, but as far as gatekeeping, I don't think it's as possible as it used to be.
And somebody called me a gatekeeper the other day. I was like, what the hell, you lazy? I didn't say that, but in my mind, I was thinking, you lazy motherfucker. What do you mean gatekeeper? You're just not trying hard enough.
Before, people used to have to go to a company to be able to get published, right? Get your music out there, or, you know, get an executive to co-sign your show, greenlight your show. Now we got the internet, bro. We can go upload and nobody can stop you except for like the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? But like some big exec can't stop this show from growing, fam. You know what I'm saying? I've had rants saying Drake can't stop this show from growing. He can help it grow, but he can't stop it from growing. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So there is no more.
I got friggin' DMs about that rant right there. Not even just DMs. I got phone calls about that rant from their camp. This is like maybe about 3 years ago. I ain't going to pull it up now, but y'all can go on my channel and go look up Ricky Dred or Drake rant. You'll find it right away. It's just me like yelling on the thumbnail. But got to follow, 2 follows right after that from the personal page and the We Love Hip Hop page. So I guess it got through somehow. But I suggest don't do what I do.
Gatekeepers.
Live stream or edited content?
Edited content. But I do love live streaming. I live streamed the other day like for 5 hours straight, bro. Just talking about different topics in the scene and stuff like that. And we will be doing more live streams as we get into this year. But I do enjoy pre-edited, like how we're doing right now. You know what I mean? Something fucks up, or if there's a take that it's a little bit too crazy, which I rarely take out. But like, if there's something that can't be said on YouTube, at least we can cut it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I prefer the same thing too.
Yeah.
Live streaming or anything live, I get really nervous. And, what if you make a mistake? What if you say the wrong thing? Then,
bro.
you know?
That live streaming is an art form. A lot of people might not look at it like that. Maybe I'm being like, I'm exaggerating, or I'm being overly dramatic, but it's an art form to be able to sit there, just react to the chat only. And sometimes the chat isn't moving so fast. So you just got to talk and not have a lot of dead air too, because that dead air shit makes people click off. If you're just like sitting there and you're just like, yo, fam, so what's going on with this video? Hold on, let me find the next video. And while you're looking for the next video, you're just silent. You're not saying anything. Like, that shit is boring. So you got to know how to talk. You got to know how to do monologues, basically, like I'm doing right now, and keep it interesting, right? And keep the pace of your voice up, or sorry, the pace of your sentencing up. I don't know what the words I'm trying to find, but your phrasing. Don't be sitting there on some boring school teacher like, slowly taking your time to ask questions or look up stuff. No, pick up the pace. Pick up the pace. Talk maybe faster than you regularly talk in regular life, because people will watch that shit and get bored. It's just reality. You know what I'm saying? So for anybody who out there who's trying to get into the live streaming, it's not going to be that easy in the beginning, but keep those different things in mind. Watch other live streamers, see what they're doing, see how they keep it interesting, and, try to do some of the same.
Something that it takes work, man. It takes you got to keep on doing laps when it comes to them live streams, bro. When I first started doing live streams, I used to kind of leave a lot of dead air. I used to kind of I'd be fumbling around trying to figure out what I want to do. Now I could live stream for 5 hours and not even have like something up on the screen. I could just talk my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. You've been doing it for a while, so yeah, definitely. Legacy or currency?
Legacy.
Legacy.
Legacy creates the currency. So you'll have that forever if you have a legacy.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Nice. Ricky, they say the bridge is only as strong as the weight it can carry. You carried the stories, the beef, and the triumphs of the city for decades on your back. If 2026 is the year the bridge finally connects everyone, what's the first thing you're doing for yourself once you step off of it?
Bless the team.
Wow. Putting more money in my team's pocket. I've had people who've come and gone, and salute to the people who are here now, because I feel that they're here for the long run. But I want to be able to bless them. I want them to be able to make thousands of dollars a week from podcasting. And
low key, the dream is making sure that I can put like $10K a month in the pocket of DJ Czar and DJ Natural and Dusty Wallace, as well as One Take Jake, for their contributions. $10K a month. What is that? Freaking $2,500 a week. I think that's pretty good. Just a podcast twice a week. What y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Am I lowballing a little bit over there, or is that good money? 10 racks a month, just a podcast. That's what I'm on.
Make all of those times that they came here and done free pods like all worth it. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like, yeah, okay, I've been a co-host on We Love Hip Hop, and now I quit any job that I had to do because I make so much money doing this shit. Where like I was riding with Friday where we were making nothing per pod, or we were just getting like weed and stuff like that. Like they're first. You know what I'm saying? And then like I feel like if I'm able to bless my team, then I'm good. I'll have enough money. Like I'm 50 now. Like I don't need to go buy big cars and fancy chains and rings and stuff like that. As long as I got a nice crib over my head, you know what I'm saying? And I'm able to eat whatever I want when I want, I'm good.
Yeah, that's true. So that's true. Yeah, I'm not really into the flashiness as well. I know. I mean,
and I'm not capping either. That's real facts. Like, not to say that I'd be great with a 10K a month myself, right? But as somebody who facilitates all this, I probably need a little bit more to make sure I pay all of the expenses and stuff like that. But after that, like, I'm cool, man. I don't need to be driving around in the 2026 Ferrari and all that type shit. That's young boy shit. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be able to bless my family, bless the people around me that I love and stuff like that with the money that I'm making. And as long as I have enough weed to smoke as much as I want every day and good food in my belly, I am good.
You know, I'm not into gold chain so I like a simple life.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of the city, the bridge himself, Ricky Friday Dred. Kofi, thank you for having me here.
The Cubbies are out.
I really appreciate it. Is there any last words you want to say before I close it out?
Listen, man, just salute to all the people out there. Do your work, man. If you want to be able to succeed in anything, whether it's podcasting, rapping, do the work. You know what I mean? Do the research that it takes to find out, what's the best things to get my music to the next level, the next things to do, get my podcast to the next level. Do everything that you need to do to get yourself to the next level. That's my advice to anybody.
Nice.
Jewels, gems.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to.
Big salute to KP Production right here. Yep, like what he said, make sure go and run up the likes on this interview right here. Okay, Friday Ricky Dred on street loyalty, sobriety through jail, and starting We Love Hip Hop and more. Okay, big salute to Kino for this interview. He had some great questions, and I suggest, like I said to y'all, to go and check out his channel and run up all the interviews on his channel right there. I think that's all we got for this reaction right here. Do the same for this channel right here. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and if you're feeling generous, send us a hype and really push this in the algorithm. All right. We'll be back with another reaction real soon. We are off of this. Deuces.
We
Thanks
love
for
hip
watching.
hop.
If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.